using the heavy phone because it has a better camera on it. You missed all the hectic. You missed all the hectic. You know, I just got towed back uh, to the house, and this is why you have to practice at this when you're using the electric cars to know all the goofball crap that goes on. Um, so I'm practicing, and I went over and let me turn this heater off. I went over and I was really getting it on, right? And I was going to all the different charge spots, finding out where the charge spots were. I was about to go over to Walmart, but it was like the Walmart that I needed to go to that possibly had a product there. I don't know if they did or not. I was going to go looking for it. But I was at the park, and so I was putting in all these different addresses because wherever I go, I have to put the address so that I can track it on my GPS so that I can see if the mileage, I'm just barely figuring this crap out, okay? So it turns out that it gets 4 miles per kilowatt, okay? And so, but today what happened was, well, I just got towed right now. The tow truck driver just left. And, well, what happened was, let me turn this heater off. I lost my appetite. I ate something, but it was like, freaking pig slop. And you know, when you're stressed, everything just starts falling apart. And so I'm like, the car didn't show up on the roadside assistance when you know, I added it to my insurance like 4 days ago, and the car wasn't showing up, and I was like, pfft. And well, I got to Lemoore, and there was a guy in the fast charger, so I was just waiting. I was on my way back from Fresno. I'd used the fast chargers. I used the fast charger at Chevron at 99, and basically where the 99 and the 41 come together. And so I found the fast chargers there. I thought it was on the other side of the street. It was on a different side of the street. And then I used the fast charger over at um, Food for Less or Food Max, and it was a freaking pile of junk, dude. It looks like garbage. Some of them look like crap. I don't know how long it's been there, but I don't think it was even new when they put it there. It looks horrible. And so I used that one, and it was a fast charger, and I only put like 3 or 4 minutes, right? And then I took off to the next one, Chevron. I used that fast charger, and the one at the Caltrans, those look junky too. There's this kind that they're like big, just a big block, and it sits on the ground. It's ugly. And that's the ones they got over at the Caltrans in Fresno, but they were all taken. And so I took off and come back to Lemoore, and I know that one of the level 2 chargers does not work. Okay, and I wanted to see if the fast charger was going to work. That way I could charge up a lot faster when I, go to out of town. And so this dude in an F1 Lightning was charging up. And there's two connectors. There's a CSS1 connector and a CHAdeMO connector. And I use the CHAdeMO. Mostly everybody else uses the CSS1. And so apparently that one works. So he pulled out. And so I went over there to get in there. And the car beside me that's charging on level 2, there's nobody in the car. And it was a company car. And so I tried using the CHAdeMO, and it still didn't work. Just like before, you plug it in, and it says, replace the handle, and we'll call you when it's ready, when it's available or ready, or some kind of crap like that. So I put it back, and I said, well, now I'm going to have to wait for this, guys, because I'm going to have to charge on the slow charger. And there's no people around. So I noticed it had a number on the door on the car. So I called up the car and I said, hey, there's somebody over here. And it's the charging is complete because it was available. Right? And I said, so is it okay if I disconnect it? And she said, yeah. So I disconnected it. And I went over to plug it into the car. And this one has worked before, unless I got confused, and it's the other one that works, right? I'm pretty sure it was that. I don't know, but it just ding did not work. So I was tripping out, right? And so I didn't try the other side. I should have tried. That was stupid. What I should have done right there was call the company and find out what's going on. That's where I messed up. I should have called the company right there and find out what was going on. But I didn't. So I'm like, well, I know these over in Hanford always work. So here I take off to Hanford. And I had 35 miles of range left. So I take off to Hanford. And the damn thing does not work. Just ding. And so I drove around the motel and I went over to a different one, charger, the same company, right? And same damn thing. So I'm like, oh man. So I took off over to the hospital. And the hospital, both those are taken like they always are. These are free chargers. And so I go looking at the high school in Hanford. And and so I'm trying to find it on the GPS, right? Where the hell these things are. So luckily I have had my professional GPS, put it on right there, and it took me all around. And now I'm down to like 19 miles of range left. And I'm sitting here starting to go around in circles, and I'm like, now what the hell am I going to do? So I finally made it into the high school after making a U-turn, going all the way around and getting close to it. And I see a teacher, a lady teacher. And I pulled over and I said, do you know where the electric car chargers are? And hello, people in the chat. And she goes, oh, they're right down there. And so I take off and I go over there and I just like these are small little chargers, and get out and take a look at them. The freaking cables are cut. She couldn't tell me that the cables were cut, right? These people are freaking sick, man. At the high school, the cables are cut. Just like at the Toyota dealer in Hanford. Right in front of the Toyota dealer. All brand new cars, big, you know how a car dealer looks, right? And it has the freaking cables cut to it. And then in Fresno, downtown, where they have the thrift shops and the Salland Arena, and it's downtown. That's where they have a lot of homeless people around there. Well, they're starting to scatter them out of there now. They used to be right there because the Poverello house. They have a whole bunch of them every one of them. I didn't go by there today. Okay? I haven't checked them out. I was going to, but it was starting to get late. I had to make it back. I couldn't even go to the Walmart. The Walmart was 10 miles that way and then 10 miles this way. It was getting too late because I was all charging on slow chargers, right? I had to find the places, and so on the way back I found the fast chargers. And so I just basically went over there just to find the chargers, where all the chargers are at. There's a whole bunch more I still got to find. Trying to beat it back before it gets foggy. It's freaking Thule fog, right? So I had to be back before the sun. So basically, I just drove up there and drove back. And so when I got back here to Lemoore, nothing. So I took off to Hanford, and um, I tried all those. Tried at the high school. Lady, another lady there, another teacher says, I think there's one down by the Burger King. So here I was going round and round looking for these freaking chargers. I went to the train station, and they had two nice level 2 chargers out there. Went both the same thing, ding, ding. So I'm down to like, I think 16 miles range, and so I take off and I go looking for this bank that this lady had said. She says, I think there's one down at the bank. So I was looking for these, going through alleys, asking people, do you know where the electric charger's at? No, no, I have no clue. And so finally, I'm like, I see this bank. It looked like the one that I saw on there, BM or something, some weird name bank. And all the banks there are weird names. They're not like they used to be before. Remember, there was Union and Bank of America and United. I don't know what they are now. There's some weird banks. But there's a tow truck sitting right there. AAA tow truck. Right before you get into the alley to these other chargers. These are fast chargers, but they're not the kind I've been using. This is a weird brand, just like that one brand out here that's way down this way. It's about 17 miles out this way. It's a weird brand. That's the first brand I tried, and it did not work. Okay? And they took out $50 out of my bank account when the guy said he was only going to take 25 out. And so they take money out as like a deposit or something to hold it to see how much electricity you're going to use or something. Well, that's the same kind of chargers that were sitting behind the bank. So I see the tow truck driver, so I pull up, and both stalls were taken. They had two brand new nice cars. One was a Hummer, and one was something else. And I'm like, these people are never going to show up. There's nobody in the cars, right? And so I call up the company because it has two handles on it. I thought maybe I could use one handle. So I call up the company. This company is called, it's a weird name. I forget even what the hell the name of the company is. And so this company was the company that I had used that supercharger, not supercharger, the fast charger over at the Food Max in Fresno. It was the same company. And I said, can I turn this thing on or something like this? And he goes, oh, well, they'll, explained what's going on. He goes, oh, well, when it becomes available, he says, let me know, because you can't use both handles at the same time. It only charges one card at a time. And then so he tells me, he says, yes, they take $50 out. And I'm like, and I remember I read one of the reviews, and one of the reviews said that they took out $100 out of his bank account. So I'm like, I go over and I pull up on the side, I'm watching these two cars to see if they leave. I'm going to go up there and see if I can get the fast chargers. It was just fast chargers. Two different connectors, the CHAdeMO and the CCS one. and there was two cars there sitting there charging in back of the bank and right next to a motel. And so I pull into the motel. There's plenty of parking, and I'm sitting there watching them. And I'm talk to this guy on the phone, and that's when he tells me that that they take out a deposit. So I go in and I look at my bank, freaking all zeros, right? On my checking account, it was zeros. That's why the chargers were not working. But they won't come out and tell you. They won't tell you that your bank account is zero. So you drive all over trying all different ones when they're not giving you no electricity because your bank account went to zero, because all these people that you put in, you went over there and you tried all these superchargers or fast chargers to try them. Each one of them pulled $25 out, and some of them pulled $50 out. So I ended up having to call a tow truck. And so on the way we're coming back, I'm sitting here transferring money from my savings into my checking account. I put 50, then I put 90, then I put another 80, and brought it up to like 270. Where the first $100 that I transferred, it didn't do nothing. It left it on zero. And so we were on the way back, and I told them, and I told the company too. I told AAA, I said, I need to go by here first before I go home. I need to go by this place and put some charge in it, fast charge, over on the interstate. And so I wrote that down on there. And so he took me over there. He didn't speak very good English, so it was kind of confusing a little bit. But so when we got there, there was a dude parked right in the middle. He didn't park, on this side or that side. He parked right in the middle. And so he was, the tow truck driver was going to get up close to it. Then he said, I'll just, drop the car and you can drive it over there and charge it. And I was like, yeah. So I hooked it up to the fast charger and started charging right away. And I told him, he said, so how long do you need to charge? He says, because I can't stay here very long. I said, well, I said, it's charging at 40,000 watts right now. I said, it'll take about a half hour. I need at least 50%. And it was barely up to 20%. And I said, don't leave me here. I said, if you want, he says, I can't wait, and this and that. I said, well, let me unplug it and put it back up on the tow truck and take me home. Right? Because I didn't want him to take off and then it stopped charging. And so he couldn't wait there. So it got up to 20% charge, and I think it was 30 miles range. And so we just loaded it back up, and then he brought me over here. But yeah, you have to know this stuff. See, they design it for people who have money. People who are poor, they're going to have a miserable time with these things. So, there it is. So, like I was telling the truck driver, I said, how come all the free chargers, I said, I could charge this car for free. I said, I charged it free on the way down there. Just, I wasn't looking for free chargers. I was looking for the fast chargers, because Lemoore only has one fast charger and it does not work. Not the Chadmo. The one in Hanford has a fast charger, but it's a CCS1 adapter. And so Fresno has fast chargers all over the place. And so I checked out two on the way back. When I was leaving out of Roding Park Zoo, they had one at the Food Max, and that one right down the road at the Chevron gas station on Jensen. And they're all real close to each other, and both of them worked. But the one at the Food Max, that's the one that screwed everything up. Then when I was looking at the charge point was charging me too $25. When these don't Oh, it must have been my 25 ran out, but they charged me twice. 25 and 25. Then this one 50 and that one 50. So that's $150. Now that's got to go back into my account, but it'll stop the thing from dispensing electricity if you're poor. If you don't got a chunk of change in your bank account, it'll do that. Now I know. So, the moral of the story is after you've charged somewhere, if you're going around checking different chargers, look at your bank account to see if they took anything out of it. I can show you mine. It looks like a mess. But so I made it back home, and I've only got one more tow, one more roadside assistance for this year. So I think it's coming up next month. I got my AAA right here. Let me check. They're so freaking hectic, man. I mean, if you were having a beer, you know, it'd be different. But this is just freaking hectic. I told you. There was some dude there sitting in the spot, and I guess he was a foreigner because he didn't speak English. He looked like he was Ukrainian or Romanian, somebody from Europe. He looked European. An older dude sitting there smoking a cigarette. Okay, so January 16, confirmation of a change made to your insurance. I switched it to automatic payment, but I think I'm going to cancel that. I think I'm going to cancel that automatic payment, because then, can you imagine you're out there and that they charge you thing and that happens to you and you're stuck out there? I'm going to turn off that automatic payment. Yeah, so I got my insurance policy for the... It only says Toyota Prius on here. Oh, Nissan Leaf, yeah. Okay. And I had these in the car with me too. I could have showed them that. But, I don't know, it's so goofy because, you know, they're two different... The roadside assistance is different than the insurance, and it's just freaking goofy. But, yeah, I'm going to cancel that automatic thing. It's like you save $4 a month if you let them charge you automatically. But I'm going to call them up and say, I don't want it. I'll pay the extra $4 so I pay it when. That way I know when the money's coming out of the account. Automobile death benefits. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, they reduced a lot, but still my roadside assistance, it's overkill. And so I got to talk to them. So, man, That was so weird. The tow truck driver was sitting right there. So I just went around and I parked behind him. And then I called the roadside assistance. I wouldn't want to do that out there in this fog. You look at Facebook and see all the stuff that's going on out there. Then they don't even use a trucker GPS. They use their phone for GPS. That's garbage. So I got to order me a battery for my GPS and replace the battery on it because that was an issue. And I got to get a splitter for the cigarette lighter so that I can run my GPS and charging my phones. Because otherwise, something like that happens and your main phone goes out, it's terrible. But yeah, I learned how to read the mileage now. It's 4 miles per kilowatt. The battery is 24 kilowatts, but it's got like 25% degradation. So it doesn't charge up to 24 kilowatts. If it did, that would be 24 times 4. That would be the range. 24 times 4 is 40, and 40 is 80, and that 4 times 4 is 16, so 80, 96. The range was 96 miles when it was new, but it has about 20% degradation, so it only gets like 17 out of 24. 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. So 4 times 7 is 28. Yeah, 4 times 7 is 28. So it's 28 miles less than what it used to get when it was brand new. So it's only getting 17. It only charges up to like 17 kilowatts. And so 17 times 4 is 17 times 4, 68. I got 68 miles range. It's the smallest battery that Nissan used. And it goes up to, you can go up to 40, well, 30, 40, 50, and 64. But 64 you have to put on new shocks because the battery's real heavy. But if they use the new batteries, if they were to, somehow change the batteries and replace them with the new technology batteries, I don't think they'd have to replace the shocks because they're a lot lighter now than they used to be. And so yeah, it'll you can put a 64 kilowatt hour battery and that'll give you over 200 miles range. But I wouldn't want to do that. I'd just go with the 53 where you don't have to do any modification to it. Have to put spacers on there. The battery hangs down lower, and then you got to replace your shocks. You got to put on more heavy duty shocks. So now I understand what Canada is doing. Okay? Canada is going, they're bringing the affordable Chinese electric cars, but they're going with EREV. And that's a good idea. It's a good idea until the technology gets up high and more people are using them. That way you can just take your debit card just like you do at a gas pump. Just take your debit card and it turns it on. Just like the gas pump does. Right now, they don't have that. Okay? So for right now, I'm totally 100 on board with Canada going with EREV. That's extended range. That way they can't do this crap to you. Right? Because you have your own onboard generator. It runs off fuel. It runs off petrol, gasoline. It's a generator built into the car. And I'm saying I'm on board with that 100% because these freaking bozos, just like David Icke was saying, right? This will stop them from doing it until the technology gets better and more people have these vehicles. Then they won't be messing around like this, like they are right now. That they do not take a freaking debit card. You can't just double tap it like you do on your gasoline. They're doing this on purpose. Okay? And so yeah, totally for it. Extended range EV. The motor, the gas engine, the ICE engine doesn't connect to the wheels at all. It's a straight generator. That's all it does. It generates electricity to charge the batteries, thereby giving you extended range, like 500, 600 miles. They can't be doing this shit to you. But the way it is right now, if you don't have an EREV, they can screw with you and leave you stranded, right? So David Icke had a point. I'm sure he probably rented one, and that's why he started saying all that stuff. But you know, eventually it'll get there. But for right now, like I said, totally 100% on board. EREV. Bring them all. Make them all EREV until more people come in, right? And these people straighten up and fly right and fix their crap. There's no reason why it can't take a debit card just like your gasoline pumps do. And so, yeah, if I was get one, that's what I'd get. Extended range EV. Well, in Canada they have to because it's so cold. And so let's start looking for some extended range EVs. I'm gonna file for the uh, rebate. Um, I guess what's today? 27th. Yeah, and I'm probably gonna go back up to Fresno on February on the 2nd. Monday I'll go back up to Fresno. I know how to get there now, and I know how to watch my bank account. So I'm not going to be plugging into those fast chargers. There's one more fast charger I wanted to check out, and then um, and then I also wanted to go and show you the cartilage of what's going on with all the free chargers, right? And because free chargers are nice, but because of this, what happened today, uh, I'm just putting the brakes on building the solar thing. I can't do it right now. Screw that crap. After this, it just got me all shaken up. What is my favorite song? What's your favorite song? I ain't telling you my favorite song. I named you a whole freaking shitload of artists back from 1996. Michelle Branch, Natalie Furtado, Jewel, Natalie Merchant, um, Macy Gray. Um, there's a whole shitload of them. What's her name? Um, What the hell's that chick's name? I just was talking about her. She sung Shadow Boxer. Um, what the hell's her name? Let me see. Ask AI. Who sung Shadow Boxer? The Cranberries. Your Cranberries is good.
Shadow Boxer was actually
Fiona Apple.
Fiona Apple.
Actually, her name is Fiona Apple Maggard. There's all kinds of them. Why? Okay, so $100 bill said something dumb. I think I might be kicking somebody out here tonight. Let me see what he said. Oh, it won't show me because the message retracted. Okay, but yeah, I'll keep an eye on this clown here. Chaser lives. Where? Fresno? Yeah. I don't know. Now what? Okay, so I just wanted to let you know what was going on. It was real hectic. And drove all the way up there, and I did not know that. I did not. I thought, you'd think they would say card declined. No, they won't tell you that. They let you run around until you run out of freaking electricity, run out of juice in the battery, so you have to call up and get towed. Right? So, so stay tuned for tomorrow. And I think I need to call that company and ask them why they do that shit. It's like everything is, well, I guess I'll just talk to you tomorrow. It's supposed to be sunny day tomorrow. Me time? Yeah, well, like I said, if, depends on how you look at it, but, you know, I'm trying to, quit bad habits, trying to clean up my diet, and then these clowns do something like this. That same butthead that I talked to when they took out that 50 is the same butthead I was talking to out here, and they still didn't turn it on again. They're pieces of shit, man. So yeah, definitely EREV. I'm going to start checking them out and see which ones are available. Because that's good. It's just like having a portable generator, right? A 220. a portable generator that runs on gas that generates 220 or 240, and you always have it there, with the 5 gallon tank on it in case you need it. They already got, you know, 80 kilowatt batteries, but they always have that generator there in case you need it. Like if something like this happens, it's built in. So that's good, right? Until they clean this crap up, what they're doing. Once they clean it up, then you can take off the training wheels. But right now, it's needed. So they know what they're doing. They need to go with these full force EREV. I'm going to start looking up the models and I'll let you know which models are available out there. Okie dokie. Thank you for commenting. Thank you for liking the video. I'm still shaking up from this. So I'll talk to you tonight or tomorrow.